Hi Stampers, my name is Lori Helvig and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today I'd like to share with you 4 different cards that I made using the misted block technique. Misted block. And that's just simply by using one of our Stampin' Up! Acrylic blocks and ink and water spritzing, and I'll show you a little bit more about that in just a minute. So let's go ahead and get started with the first card, and that is this one right here. That the color scheme that I used for this card is Old Olive, Delightful Dijon, and Dapper Denim. And then of course I used for this watercoloring here, I used some of our watercolor paper with Stampin' Up. Now the sheets with Stampin' Up, it's actually, you get 5 sheets for $5, and they're 6 by 9. But I cut all of the pieces that I'm going to use today. They're all cut the same. It's 5 by 3 3/4. So they're all cut just a little bit bigger than this block. Okay, the block I'm using is letter E. If you can see that right here, it's the size E block. Okay, and it's just the paper's just a little bit bigger. So what I did here was I just used one of our Stampin' Mist, our Stampin' Spritzer, and these are real inexpensive. You get 2 of them for $3, and I have one here that's filled with Old Olive ink refill. And so I'll move my card out of the way here. If you spritz this block, you can just see some ink going on there, and of course I would do a lot more than that, but you spray up your ink with the block with your ink, and then just kind of let it run all over, and you've got your green, and then you would just take your block and simply take it to your paper, and however your ink blotches on there is what you'd come up with the image. So that's what I did there for a cute little background. This little banner, I actually freehand cut that. I just stamped "It's Your Day," and then I just cut it out so it was just a little rough and jagged there. Okay, and then the stamp set I used, it's a brand new set coming up in the Stampin' Up! Catalog beginning in June, and it's called Confetti Celebration. So all the sets that I'm using today are brand new stamps. So here's Confetti Celebration, and that's the first card. Okay, and then we'll go on to the second card, which is this one right here. And with that, the color combination is, can you see those 3? It's Emerald Envy and Basic Black and Flirty Flamingo. And these 2 are new in colors this time around. And then the stamp set is one of my favorites. I love this set. I received this on the onstage event, and I really like it. It's called Marquee Messages. Okay, so that's what I used for this card. And then with this one, we're going to take our block, and let me get rid of the green ink from the first time around here real quick. And then if you take your Flirty Flamingo, and you're going to ink up your block. I'm not going to cover the whole thing, but you get the idea. You would ink up your entire block, and then you're going to spritz some water. I just got a little spritzer water bottle here that you can also use if you just use whatever you have to put your water in. Spritz that on there, and as the water and the ink will pool away from the center and kind of go to the edge, and that's how I ended up with that ink around the outside and then blotchy in the middle. So isn't that cute? And then I've got the green ink here, and then I used black for the words. And these rhinestones right here, all I did there, I just colored in. I think you all know this. You just take a black Sharpie and you just color in all your jewels. And that's how I did that. Okay. And then for the third card, it's this one here. It says "Sending a Smile Your Way." So I thought that's real pretty. This stamp set has some real pretty verses in it. It's called Love and Affection. So I really like the words in there. And then also this paper, I wanted the speckles in the green here to match the speckles in the paper, and so I used this Playful palette, and it's got some real pretty artsy like paper in here, and then I used this one here with the speckles. And then I also used, along the side, I used the Botanical Builder framelits, and this is actually 2 pieces. I cut out this piece here and left the edges in there from the green, and then I cut up an entirely separate piece that was plain watercolor paper and then put that in here because I didn't want the ink on this part. So this is 2 separate pieces. So that's how I did that. And then with this one, you are actually going to do your water first, okay? So again, take your spritzer, whatever kind of spritzer you want to use, put your water on first, and then take your green ink and put the green ink on top and just dab it lightly. And if you have a lot of water in there and just, very little ink, for this one I didn't want very much ink, just some splatters on there, and I came up with this. And then these flowers were also done with the watercolor paper, and I colored those in with markers and a blender pen. Okay, and then the last one is probably my favorite card. This was real simple to do. I did not use the watercolor paper though. Instead, I used our shimmery white paper, or shimmery white cardstock, and that is $8 for 10 sheets. So that's how that comes. And then I just kind of practiced, and you can see that, started out one, I got too much water, and then this one's not too bad, but I got, better as I went along, so it does take a little practice just to know how much water to put on there. But there's my 4 different ones that were done on 1 sheet of shimmery white. And then the actual card, you can see what I did here. I used the 2 different colors of ink, and if you take, I got the Peekaboo Peach, and I did that on about 2/3 of my block. And then the Sweet Sugar Plum, you ink up that and kind of overlap it. So there's your, 2 different colors. And then if you spritz that with water, and that ink will just really blend together nicely, and you come up with this. So it kind of looks like a tie-dye, tie-dye look. And then after it dried, I put the blue, the Dapper Denim ink on there. And I used this set that's called Moroccan Nights. And then with this, here's my color palette. The 2 in, or all 3 in colors actually, the Sweet Sugar Plum, the Dapper Denim, and the Peekaboo Peach. So you can see all those colors. And then I wanted to point out a couple flaws here. It still looks good. I went past the block, and you can kind of see ink up around there, but it just adds to the artistic look, even if you do, the ink kind of runs off. So there's all my cards. I'll show them to you again. Like I said, I did use 4 new sets, and 4 different variations to the same idea, just by using your block and ink and some water to spritz on there.